Today I have with me on set a very special personality, the person of Ambassador Ugbe Raymond Orogun. He is a social entrepreneur and a fantastic activist when it comes to the issue of social entrepreneurship. We have him on studio today. Nice to have you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus.
What is happening? Why is it that the more we try to repair, the more we have issues, snowballing into worst case scenario, more people are getting out of hand in terms of values?
Okay, now, like you rightly mentioned,
Yes.
that the things are getting out of hand,
Yes.
even though we are trying our best. You said that the people that are influencing them negatively seem to be more than those that are influencing them positively.
Okay.
That is one of the factors. There are other numerous factors that could also attribute to this kind of thing. And if I should break it down, this generation is suffering from what I call generational myopia.
Generational myopia, that's
Yes.
interesting.
That is what this generation is suffering from.
Okay.
Now, what is generational myopia? Now, generational myopia is a situation whereby a certain generation is suffering from a kind of influence, but they can't help themselves. That is generational myopia. It happens from generation to generation. So in every generation, there is a pattern of life that is peculiar to them. For every generation, there is a pattern, there is a style, there is a kind of life that is peculiar to them. So this generation we are into now, there is a pattern, there is a peculiar way, there is a style of life that is also attributed to them. You see, this pattern, this philosophy of life, this kind of life is influenced by some certain factors.
Wow.
Are you with me now?
Yes.
So it is those factors that are numerous. That is why it looks as if we who are also from the other factor trying to influence them, it looks as if we are not doing anything. But in the recent, we are doing something.
Okay, for some persons watching us out there, it's like you are speaking in riddles. You mentioned generational, you talked about factors, generational myopia, and all that. Can we, as a matter of fact, bring this, in a layman's sense, so that our viewers out there can actually understand what we are talking about? Can we relate it to the present day situation?
Okay, good. Let me show you something now. There is a generation called the lost generation.
Okay.
In 1920. This generation, they believe they give themselves so much to alcohol.
Okay.
They give themselves so much to drug. They give themselves so much to sex. There is a kind of music they play, jazz music, metallic jazz music.
Okay.
Now that generation, people thought that, this generation is doomed. The future is nothing for us. The future holds nothing for us. Immorality was on the rise in that generation. Then another generation came up in 1960. 1960. That the generation that came up looked at the past generation. He said, no, we can't continue like this. That generation began to imbibe ideology. That was the generation that people like Inagoro, people like others, Isaac, Nnamdi Azikiwe, the people that move for our independence. That is the generation that produced them. They are another kind of generation. Something also influenced them. Something influenced them until that generation passed. Then we are now in this generation. If you watch this generation now, something is influencing us.
What is that?
Number one, yes. Let's go by our music.
Okay.
Every generation, there is a
peculiar
music. Kind of music
that
associate with them.
Okay.
In every generation, there is a kind of in the music industry, there's a kind of entertainment that is associated with them. In every generation, there is a kind of parenting that is associated with them. So you discover that number one, what is attributing to our moral decadence now? Number one, the kind of parenting.
Okay.
Number two, our entertainers, our social influencers. Number three, the kind of things we listen to in the church, the kind of teachings coming out from the religious circle,
which is supposed to be the hope.
Those are the things that are influencing our young ones. Take for example, let me say in the 90s, when you go to some musical stores, you will see suggestive materials like naked women open their body, nude pictures is in some magazines, and they hide them under the counter. You remember?
Yeah, sure.
You understand?
Very well.
Now, if you want to buy it, you will look around. If somebody is watching,
it's not like buying condom in the chemist.
You look around. So it is exclusive. Yes. It's not meant for everybody.
Yes.
Then another generation came, and we begin to see those materials on cassettes. Begin to see them on stores. That store is not for everybody too. Yes. They will hide it at the corner of the store.
Yes.
So that you won't get there. No youth will get there. It is only adults that will get there.
Yes.
Then another generation came. CDs now came.
Yes.
They are still hiding it, but it's becoming very open to the public.
Yes.
Until the advent of internet. So now, what was hidden under the counter in those days is now in your pocket.
Oh my God!
And now there was a prediction in year 2000 that before 2010, every adult, at least almost every adult, should have Android phone.
Which is happening
now.
People have
children now have Android phone. Yeah. So with the advent of Android phones, iPhones, you see what has been in the dark, what is hidden is now in the light, and it's now no restriction, and it's now available to everybody. You can't restrict them. Wow. So entertainment has been one of the forces that is influencing the people. Do you know the scripture made mention of gates of hell? Gates of hell. He said, I will build, and the gates of hell will not prevail.
Will not prevail.
Let's use biblical term now.
Yeah,
entertainment is a gate. A gate is a place of influence.
Yes.
So entertainment is a gate.
But is it a gate of hell?
It could be a gate of hell. It could be a gate of light.
Depending
on how you are using it and who is entering inside.
Okay.
So entertainment is one of it. Then we also come back to homes, to parenting.
Is that also a gate?
No, not a gate, but it's also a factor that is responsible for the moral decadence.
Okay.
Parenting.
How does parents contribute to this?
Now, let me tell you now. There are 4 types of parenting. When you see a child, if I used to be a teacher, when you are in a classroom and you look at the children, even if there are 100 of them, you are seeing 4 kinds of people.
That's interesting.
Yes. So you as a teacher should be able to know the category with which the child fall into, so that you know how to handle them. So you group them into that category. Now, back to your question: how do they attribute to social decadence? Now let's look at it now. Go back to our family roots. You discover that family bond has been broken. That parental grip has been broken. You see a mother, by 6 o'clock, he is out of the house. She will come back by 8 o'clock. The father will leave home the same 6 o'clock. Then the children are left on their own to train themselves. So the children now copy what they see outside. The parents.
Or what the house help teaches them.
Yes, what the house help is teaching them.
Or neighbors.
Those values your mother used to talk to you, those moonlight tales, those experiences,
Values of
those
integrity,
value of integrity, honesty, those bond is broken. So you will now see that youth will always quest for freedom. That is the problem with the prodigal son. He was looking for freedom. They want to go on their own. And you know that freedom they are looking for is a freedom to live as they like. And now it seems as if our youth have gotten their independence from their parents. From their parents. So they are on their own, living the way they like. So the parenting system is broken. The culture of parenting in this country is broken. So the children are left on their own to learn from the society, to learn from those who are influencing them. There are people positioned to influence them if you don't influence them. Their parents are not influencing them, so those people positioned to influence them are influencing them negative.
Okay, sorry, you use the word position. Who positions these people?
Number one.
Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
Economic power position them.
Oh my God. How?
Number two.
Yes.
The social status position them. Take for example now, somebody like you. You are one of the men that is well positioned in, let me use Delta State as a whole.
Yes.
People look onto you.
Okay.
Youth look onto you. Now, who position you? It is your social work that position you. You remember when you used to go to the roots, to the secondary schools to speak to them, you go to churches, you don't go to the cradles, to the
market,
in the market, to the slum, you speak to them.
Yes.
Because of your activities, you have been positioned. People are looking onto you. If you are a smoker, there are some